My name is Margaret Hone. Most of you are familiar faces. This is now our 22nd time that we've done our deep dive webinars. So welcome. We always begin acknowledging that we live on land that is the traditional and unceded territory of the Syilx First Nations, who have lived here in the Okanagan for thousands of years. And as part of the Indigenous land acknowledgement, we often suggest opportunities to deepen our understanding of First Nations and the values they have for this land. So this weekend, as I mentioned, it's the Meadowlark Festival. There are still tickets left for a couple of tours that feature First Nations people talking about the land. Tour number 9, which I believe Lori's going on, is about the Okanagan Nation's plans to restore salmon and steelhead to the traditional Syilx waters. So they have an ambition to bring back all of the fish that were used by people that lived here 200 or 300 years ago. Many of those species are in trouble or are extinct, or the dams don't allow them to travel here anymore. So the idea is to bring back all the fish that are native to this area. Another speaker that's talking on Saturday night is Dr. Teresa Ryan. She is involved in the Mother Tree project. She's actually the team leader for that. Originally, Suzanne Simard was going to speak, but Teresa Ryan, who's a Tsimshian woman, her research focuses on how to use ancestral knowledge to better have sustainable management of logging and fishing and other practices, other natural resource practices. So I think her talk will be very interesting. So you can see all of these opportunities as well as what you've missed on the Meadowlark Festival website. So there's a few tickets left for both those two programs that I mentioned. Anyway, this is our 22nd deep dive seminar, as I mentioned. We've been hosting them since 2020. We feature speakers who bring different perspectives to looking at climate action and what we can do here in our valley. And the idea is if we can start a dialogue amongst ourselves with our neighbors and with elected officials, that we can maybe have some important initiatives that help ameliorate all the climate effects that we're starting to see. So I'm going to let Lori Goldman, who's always our Zoom technician, but tonight she's also MC, introducing our guest speaker. Let her continue with the rest of the program.
Thanks so much, Margaret. So now to our guest. Angela Machuik started the Replenish Refillery and Zero Waste store in 2020, just as COVID restrictions were being put in place. She persisted and relocated from a shared business space to a lovely, bright, dedicated spot on Main Street in Summerland. Over time, the store increased zero waste offerings like feminine supplies, children's items, kitchen laundry and cleaning solutions, and more, while educating the public on how we can all make a difference personally on our climate solution journey. At Replenish, all of our items are eco-friendly, vegan, biodegradable, non-toxic, safe, and effective. That's from their website, and it really inspires me. Angela told me a couple of years ago that she was spurred on by her teenagers who were concerned about our planet's future. And so I'd like to welcome Angela, someone who is opening hearts and minds on a daily basis.
There we go. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Lori, for that fabulous introduction. And thank you so much for the introduction, acknowledging the wonderful place that we live here in the Okanagan, the Syilx territory. And I'm just so fortunate to be here. So anyways, thank you for that introduction. I have been, as Lori said, I've been here in Summerland now. Actually, I've been living in Summerland for 25 years. I've been here for a while. But she's right when she said the teenagers did spark this whole adventure. I was a hairdresser, and I still am. I've been hairdressing for over 20 years, close to 30 years now, I guess. And so that is my education. I am a hairstylist, and I was working in another salon in town here for about 16 years. And my daughter, actually, she's now 25. She's the one that really got me thinking about what's going on with the future. And she really opened my eyes. It's interesting because I didn't pay a lot of attention. I was just busy working, single mom, working a lot. And she'd come home from school and talk about issues that she found out from learning in her classes. And she'd come home and she would be tearful and she'd be tearful. And there was this desperation in her voice. Like, what are we going to do, Mom? Like, look what you guys did. There's this blame on us. And, what's going to happen to our future? And she would be in tears about it. So we had many conversations, and it inspired me. I thought, you know what? She's right. We've got to fix this. We've got to try our best and fix this. So it was actually 2018. I did a small website just selling cleaning products. And it really took off from there. I realized that selling online wasn't really what we needed. I needed to work with people like I do when I'm doing their hair. We're talking. So when I opened up the store, that's when things really started to get interesting. So yeah.
Yeah, good conversations that you have with people all the time about what they can do to make a difference at home, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it didn't start off that way initially. It was just this little pop-up shop up the street within another business. And I literally rented a 6-foot long section that was just shelving, 3 little shelves. And I started with that. And it was what's that, Lori?
What did you sell at that time?
Oh, at that time, it was refillable items like shampoos, dish soap. We had really a small selection, shampoo bars, things like that, little sustainable products that you didn't see that often around here. I had seen it more on the island. So I don't know if you guys have ever been to a zero waste store on the island, but that's where my first one I've ever seen. But we just started this little pop-up shop, and I was still working as a hairdresser all along, but it became busier, and it got to the point where I had to expand. And next thing you know, I was taking up half the building. And it's because the people in Summerland came and they saw that this is a real, this was a really good idea for them. They were saving money. They'd refill, a bottle of, say they bought a bottle of shampoo from the store, they'd bring in their bottle, they'd refill it. And there's something to be said for, I think, people even doing it themselves. They get that feeling that not only are they saving plastic, but they're doing it themselves, so they get the satisfaction of knowing that they're making a difference, right? So anyway, we ended up having to move into a new store. We're here on Main Street now, and we're Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It's
And
easy.
the salon's here too.
That's a great thing because you're able to talk to people as they're coming in and take them into the back and cut their hair. I see behind you have a lot of refill jugs. What kind of things do you refill at the store? Like, what do you have on supply?
So refilling almost anything. We've got, I shouldn't say almost anything. We don't have products that contain the chemicals that you'd see. So we may not have different brands that some people are used to, but I challenge them always to try ours because they work really good. They're from other manufacturers, so I don't make anything here. We've got refills for shampoo, bubble bath, hand soap. We've used to sell a lot of hand sanitizer, though that's that's changed. Dish soap, laundry soap, all different sorts of cleaners. So all of the liquid refills that we sell are sold in bulk by weight, kind of like your bulk barn idea. So you go in and you can bring in your own container, or we have some free jars here that have been sterilized and just in the dishwasher. And you just fill up and you can just get a little bit, or you can get a liter, whatever you need. Yeah, but we also have things that are, and this was really hard for me as a hairdresser because I was always told those shampoo bars are terrible. Don't ever use them. But it's not true. It's not true. So we even carry the shampoo bars and different bars that you can use for washing your dishes and things like that. Because when you're shipping water, as a lot of you know, when you're shipping a big, huge jug of something, a product that contains 90% water, it's heavier, it's taking up more space. So all the emissions we've got these big trucks shipping all these containers of huge liquid dish soap and laundry soap. It's not necessary. It's mostly water. So our products contain limited amount of water. So they're quite concentrated. So yeah.
What do you think are the most popular items that you sell, or the product that you think has the most impact in the store?
Dish soap for sure. We go through a lot of that. Laundry soap, and hand soap. Mostly like soaps. We sell a lot of that. We've got Nellie's, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. We've got products that I like to stay as local as we can. So for example, our shampoo bars, we even have Oasis Lavender Farm here in Summerland. So they grow the organic lavender, lovely products. So we carry those. The dish soap. Actually, our top seller right now is Mint out of Ucluelet. Amazing. Yeah, it's really nice. And Live for Tomorrow, which is from Port Coquitlam. They make amazing laundry soap. So, and it's very concentrated. That one is a liquid, but you only need a teaspoon. So, and I always thought, no, it can't really work, can it? But that's what we use. We use it for the store. We use it. I've got twin 16-year-old boys. So if it works for that, so, but it doesn't have the chemicals, and we don't need that. We don't need toxic chemicals to clean, right? If you think about hand washing, right? It's just a bar of soap and it's cleaning. So why do we need to add all these chemicals, right? Yeah.
So besides liquids or soaps and refillables, what other kinds of things do you have in the store that can help us reduce emissions and be better consumers?
I think it's important when we're purchasing think about the start to finish, right? So a toothbrush, for example, bamboo toothbrush, we can use something like that, and then when it's done, we can compost it, right? So we sell a lot of things like that, scrubbers and compostable items.
You take compostables
Yeah.
to the store, don't you?
We do, yeah. So we have an industrial composter in the back, which is anybody can drop off. It's for the community, and it's available 24/7. So you can just pop over. We get a lot of people from the condos in the back. They like to use that, and it takes everything from, you know, even those compostable cups, which some people might get from when they get a drink or something like that. It takes everything, the pods, yeah, so we've got that, and that's in the back, and anybody can drop off. You don't have to be a customer here, so
It's a
it's
good way.
nice. Summerland doesn't have compostable, we don't have a compost pickup at this time. In the district hasn't set that up yet, so this works really well for people.
Mhm. What other community engagements do you have through the store besides the composting?
Well, we have, I made a note. I keep forgetting. It started really small, and it snowballs. Mostly because I lay in bed at night and I come up with all these ideas. What can we do? Oh, we have a clothing swap coming up this weekend. So people will bring in clothing that in good condition, that they no longer want, and they can swap out for something else, right? So you can change up your wardrobe, just do a little swap. So we do that every 3 to 4 months. That's with kids clothing and adult size clothing. We've got a multimedia club group that just started, and that's going to be every month. So it'll be books to do with the environment, or documentaries, anything to do with environmental issues, the climate crisis, even social issues, I think are really important to include in that. So we're doing that every month. And we did a documentary last month, which one was that? Eating Our Way to Extinction, which was actually really good. I like that one. And we're going to do another one. It's the second Tuesday in June. So the second Tuesday of every month. We've done the Earth Week event last year and this year. We've done sweet seed swap, so people can bring in seeds and swap them out for other seeds. We've done, we also do a soft plastic recycle program. So we have to take all of our soft plastics to the landfill where they can be recycled here in Summerland. And a lot of people don't have a way to get up there, or it really seems silly to drive all the way out there to drop off, you know, a small bag of soft plastic. So we accept those here. We do charge a minimal fee for that. And when we get enough, then we take it up. We also do worm composting. That's something we've done now 3 events with that. So I don't know if any of you guys worm compost, but it is like amazing and super fun. We did 2 that we charged for, which included the worms and kind of a starter kit and instruction. And we've also done kind of a Q&A. So people that just wanted to find out more about it could come.
How many people
Yeah.
participated?
Well, oh my gosh, I think, well, it's a small space in here. So we had we had about a dozen people for the first one. The second one was about 10. And we had all these big containers all lined up on the table. And we had the worms, and we had the worm guy here. And it was really fun. It was really fun. And it was really neat to see people excited and almost playful, like we were kids again, right? Holding these little red wigglers. But it's really neat because my worms now, and I've talked with others that have done it in our first class. They're now doubled. Our worms have doubled. So I've got lots of worms, and we can we'll put our veggie compost in there. And anything that we can't put in, we'll put in the back in our compost in the back of the building. So yeah, and that's fun. And that's every second month we'll be doing that. So I want to do different things for the community that we don't have already here. I'd like most of them to be free or a real small charge. So we're trying to find people that can volunteer to share information, and just people that are passionate about making a difference, right, in the environment, and making a difference in whatever way it is, right?
Are you finding that it's growing a lot? Like that people in the area are really getting more interested in climate solutions through the work that you're doing in your store?
I have noticed, and it's more because of the conversations that I'm having with people. I'm not that shy. I don't know if you picked up on that, Lori, when you've come in. I can be, but I think when I've got someone in the chair in the studio and we start talking, it naturally seems to evolve, and the conversation seems to change, and climate solutions come up. What can we do to make a difference? Or I mean, it's all around us, right? What's going on, the negative. So that tends to come up in the conversation. But then we talk about options. What can we do to make a difference, right? And that's when I start sharing with my client, and they're teaching me, because I have so much to learn. Like I'm a mom, I'm a hairdresser, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter. I'm not, I never got started in this I didn't think it was going to actually take off to the extent it has. And I think the biggest thing is learning from people like you, right? Everybody that's coming tonight, you guys are the ones that make a difference. And whether you're here tonight or you've been in the past, or you've come to different events that you guys have had, we sit down and we start talking. And I had a fellow, I mentioned this when I was on CBC, saying we had this conversation about solar panels with someone, and they were talking how they received a grant, and how they got these solar panels. So next thing, this is great. So I'm looking into solar panels for the roof. Just whatever I can learn from people like you, right? Then I can share with other people in the community. Some people just come in and they say, what kind of store is this? And they're looking for a gift for someone. They don't realize that they've stumbled into my web, right? But once, and they come back, and once they come back, sometimes it takes a few times, and then they try things, and they think, I hear a lot of, this is a really neat idea. I never thought of refilling shampoo. Never thought of that. You've heard of, you know, getting bulk cashews or whatever, but you don't hear a lot of people doing that. So it's neat.
It's an education process, right? Just
It is.
just being there is an education. And I think a lot of people don't think much about reducing and reusing and zero waste. They don't really know what that concept is. I know that we have a refill store up in Kelowna. There's Chickpeas, and then there's Philosophy down in Oliver and your store. And we have Locomotive here too, which has food as well as some cleaning products.
Right.
And I think that people are really starting to take to it and to understand that we can buy better and we can reduce what we need, right? That we don't have to overconsume.
And you know what I thought was really cool? When I first opened the business, I reached out to Phil, Teresa, and she had opened one in Vernon initially, and I think they have one in Kelowna as well. And I reached out to her and I asked tons of questions, and she was amazing. She really helped me out a lot. And I also reached out to Chickpeas and I talked with Alicia, and same thing. They gave me so many fabulous ideas and helped me get started. And I thought, how cool is that they're not worried about competition. It's not about which zero waste store are we going to get our refills. It's about, wow, this is great. Another business to help the planet, right? And so then when the gal from Philosophy called me when she was starting her business, then I could pass on that information to her as well. So I think it's so important to share what we know with other people, whether it's this having a refillery or just a simple conversation, because it's so important that we're all on the same page and we're all doing the best we can, right?
Yeah, like you said that your daughter was concerned, and so this gives you some agency, and it gives the people who shop some agency in making a difference, because it can be pretty depressing, you know, working on climate solutions and not getting very far. So if we can do a little bit, it does make us feel a lot better, right? And there's only so much we can do.
And I just wanted to say on that note, so now she's in university, she's studying environmental studies. And I went out to see her last time I was out in the fall. And I remember we had this conversation, and she was still frustrated and said, I don't know if we're making enough of a difference. Like, she said, I don't know if I'm making a difference, because she's quiet. She's really quiet. And I said, you know, you only have to, if you have conversations with people, and this is what is, and this, I would say this to anyone, if you're having a conversation with someone and something resonates with them, it just takes one person, right? So this girl made a difference for me, right? So now here I am.
For all of us.
So I know. So now here I am, and I've got the store. I'm talking to clients about it, talking to you guys. So, and I told her, I said, hun, you didn't just tell me, you didn't just change me. Now, I mean, there's like half a Summerland, right? Is coming in. Well, maybe not half. That would be great. But it's, if I'm talking to you guys, right? And you go home, you're talking to a friend and you're thinking, you're kind of down. Oh, I don't know if it's making a difference. it just takes talk. You just talk to a few people and it's that ripple effect, right? Yeah. So
I don't think anybody's put any questions into the chat. But if you have any questions, if you enter them into the chat, we can ask Angela to give us some advice or to talk about something else.
Can I just ask what you do with the commercial compost that you have, that's available to the community?
oh, that's a good one. Yeah. So the commercial compost that we have in the back actually gets picked up by Spa Hills. So they do a route. They stop into Summerland. I believe we're the only place so far that has it. So they'll pick up here, then they head to Penticton and they pick up and they do their route. And at the end, it all just gets composted in their facility. So it's an industrial compost facility. And I do believe that you can purchase the compost from them, but I haven't.
Well, they are kind of far away. And they don't deliver down here. They're picking up now in doing house pickup, I think, in Vernon.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they've expanded. It'd be great to have something like that here because Summerland is getting a compost facility, but Penticton still is not. So.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not 100% sure, but I believe the Summerland one will not be industrial. No, it's just fruits, veg, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think, and I'd like to look into it. I know that there are a few places in Penticton that also use Spa Hills, like Nature's Fair.
Yes, and they will allow people to join their bin. If you talk to the general manager, you can share their bin, but most people don't do that. It's not widely known. I'm part of a Share Waste, which has a backyard compost for fruits and vegetable and coffee and tea. I think Margaret was doing that too. But, it's been 11 years or something that the RDOS here has been trying to get a compost facility. Spa Hills, I think, go to Walmart and Fortis and OK College and Nature's Fair, but only Nature's Fair is open for public to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Grace, you wanted to say something?
While she's waiting
Sorry,
to respond, did you purchase the composter yourself?
Oh, yes. Well, they supply you with the bin, and I think it's about $25 every time they come and pick up. So you pay for that service. So I have it emptied weekly. And anyone can do it. Actually, I had a lady look at it for grannies. And she was inquiring about that so that they might have it there. So I think it's great for bigger, well, I mean, it's great for anybody, but if you are a school or an apartment complex or a business, especially restaurants, right? Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be great.
Do they supply the machinery and then you?
It's just a bin. It's a dumpster bin, isn't it? And then they pick it up and they process it in Salmon Arm.
Oh, I see.
They have a big organic farm there and a big compost facility. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's just a bin, and you can use the one at Nature's Fair. It's just a bin in Penticton. One other thing I was going to ask you about before Grace speaks is that you have Terracycle, which is a special program where people can drop things off and you send it to them for processing. Is that right?
Right. Yes, we do. What's that? Sorry?
Can you speak to that program?
Oh, yeah. I was just looking at my notes here because we have a few things that they do pick up, or they don't pick up. Sorry, we send off. So Terracycle program We got in, our first one was a mask recycling box, and that went really well. We've since had 3 that we've sent away full of the disposable masks. So we take mask recycling, we take 6-pack rings. So, because you can't take those to you can't put those in your blue bin. We take plastic toothbrushes, tubes, and the toothpaste tubes. We take razors. So, disposable razors, razor blades. What's that?
What about makeup?
Yes, we take a bunch of different beauty products. So we take like lipstick containers, lip gloss, eyeshadow, even like dirty hairbrushes, old hairbrushes, things that you cannot put in the recycling bin. Silicone, so old silicone that's torn. Pens, markers, Nespresso pods. Apparently this is a big thing. I don't use the pods myself, but they're aluminum on the outside and they can be recycled and made into more. So we get a lot of those. Apparently Nespresso has quite a following. And we're looking at doing batteries and light bulbs as well, though they do have it in Penticton. Those can be dropped off. But I think for Summerland, it would be nice to have something like that.
Terracycle actually, when you send it away to them, there's I think a facility down east and certainly in the States, and they repurpose it into something usable, don't they?
Yeah, actually it's quite interesting, the process, and we may actually put a link for that on our site so people can see, but they make different items like, planters for plants. They make park benches, different pipes, conduit, things like that. Just depending on what they've sorted through. Some of it, I believe, they do send away to other facilities. So
keeping it out.
It's a process. Yeah. So it's out of the landfill. It's out of our oceans. It stays. And rather than take something new, like new plastic, right? We're taking all this old plastic that can't be recycled, and they're breaking it up and making it into something. So that's really great. So it's ideal if we all just used zero waste stuff, like you can even get mascara that comes in a little, metal container. But the reality is, if you go down the aisles at the grocery store, there's so much plastic, right? And a lot of it people don't realize can be recycled. So you finish your hand lotion, it's in a little tube, and you think, well, what am I going to do with this tube, right? It can't be recycled. So a lot of people are throwing it in the garbage. And it can be.
We don't have a service like that in Penticton. So we, collecting your things and driving up to Summerland is actually quite easy.
Yeah.
So Grace, you wanted to ask Angela a question, did you? I don't think we can hear you, Grace.
Yeah, I can't hear anything on my end.
Grace, maybe you can put your question in the chat.
Yeah, try that. Maybe, or if maybe sometimes I know I had to tell my microphone that I wanted to.
Yeah, her microphone seems to be off.
But if it's.
Yeah. So what other products do you have in the store? Like we've talked about refilling stuff, and we've talked about Terracycle. Do you have other products like feminine products or children's items?
Oh my gosh. Well, so when I opened the store, we didn't have a lot, and it was really customer led. So as long as it fit in with the values that we share at the store here. So if someone came in and they wanted a baby toy, they didn't want it to be plastic. Great. They wanted it to be silicone. So I'd start searching. And so this is kind of how we've curated the products in the store. So everything is as sustainably sourced as it can be. I try to get as close to home as we can. So whether it's Okanagan or BC, I try. Of course, a lot of it is difficult. There's not a lot of places that grow bamboo in town. So, and for myself, one of my personal values that I really wanted to have in the store is that everything was plant-based or vegan. So we ended up basically just slowly increasing products that we carried. So we have, we've got feminine hygiene products. So that's a lot of hemp in that. You have organic cotton as well. Different vessels for carrying, coffee and whatnot that are made from bamboo and that can be composted. Different, the covers for your food covers, things like that. Scrub brushes, lots of bags, which is really cool because people love their bags, and it's interesting seeing all the different types of bags. I did start carrying some cosmetics and skincare because that kind of is something I'm interested in as far as the beauty industry. So that's been an interesting challenge, getting things that are clean without the chemicals, but still give men and women what they're looking for. So we've got a lot of really fabulous products.
And you have the Blissful Belly products too, right? The food products?
We do. We have some consignment items from people. We also we have little pop-ups. So we have some consignment items, and we also do have Blissful Belly, the mixes. As you know, she's not making the products anymore, the baking.
Right.
But we've got the mixes here. So those are all vegan and gluten-free in compostable containers, compostable bags. We've got a gal here, Sarah. I don't know if you guys have seen her at the market from 13 Moons, but she, that's her company, and she makes the most lovely teas, and she actually goes and forages for them herself. And some she grows herself in her yard, and it's spray free. And there's teas and different balms and tinctures and all of that sort of stuff that she does. But so we carry her products on consignment here. We have a gal that does some really cool macrame stuff as well. Seems to have made quite a comeback, hey?
Yeah.
And it's, I love it. And it's all reclaimed cotton. So I just really wanted to have items in the store that were, that were from recycled products as much as possible. So even the bags they're 50 to 70% recycled products.
That's pretty
to make
impressive.
them. So it's really neat trying to find things that work for that are practical, right?
And fit into your parameter, and it is fun to do that kind of sourcing. I think that Sue has a question. Sue, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, thank you. I'm curious if you belong to any kind of business association in Summerland, and if you've had opportunities to talk to other businesses, because I know there are a number I live on the other side of the lake in Naramata, and there are a lot of wineries that are looking for what they can do from a climate perspective. And so I'm just curious if you've had opportunities over there to influence or just chat with the business community.
Yeah. I think it's a really good idea, Sue. I would like to go to, we do a business after business where different businesses will host and you can meet other entrepreneurs. I have not been to any yet, just probably because I'm so busy. So I haven't been to any yet. I do on Facebook. I share, I participate in different conversations with other business owners. And I think just we're pretty small here, and I try to shop local. So when I am in the store, we do have some really meaningful conversations. So that's great. But I think it's a great idea. Sue, I definitely want to do more of that. And get our name out, but also get people thinking, right? Just having the conversations and getting people thinking about what they can do. I am a member of the chamber, so I definitely have this amazing opportunity in front of me. It's just making the time for it. Yeah.
So you were on CBC What on Earth a couple of weeks ago, and that was pretty great. Did you find that more people were coming into your store after that that interview that you had?
Yeah, definitely, Lori. It was funny. I had people texting me, clients saying, "Hey, I just heard you on the radio. That was great." And we did have new people come in off the street that hadn't known about us before. So that was really awesome. And then I think that it was funny because the interview that I had with them was about a half an hour long. And of course they cut and paste. And so in the end, it was a lot shorter, but it was great. And I was on twice, so they just repeated it, right? I think it was just like a recording.
Oh yeah.
But that was really nice. And
That's a
it
really
brought in
good
some new
program
people.
about climate solutions and
Yeah.
issues, and really important for people to catch on CBC.
Oh, I know. I'm going to be listening to it all the time now. I didn't realize I when I'm in my car, I'm always listening to CBC. Usually when I'm by myself, because teenage boys don't want to listen to CBC. But when I'm doing a drive by myself, I do enjoy it. So, but yeah, it's great. It's been good. It's funny. A lot of people don't know we're here yet. It's only been over a year. So in this location, but I'm hoping that we're fairly involved in the community. We do a lot of different smaller donations and whatnot for, Giant's Head Run or Neighborhood Link and different things like that. Because I love where I live. I'm so fortunate to be here, and I really want to give back as much as I can. So we try to do different programs, even with the clothing swap. We like to do donations for local charities. And well, we have your box at the store. Right. Yeah, someone just came in with a big wad of receipts to drop in the box.
The Nature's Fair box. So that program is that we have one at Gratify in Penticton and at the Tin Whistle Brewery, and then and that's where people can take their receipts from Nature's Fair and drop them in the box, and then we get 3% of that to help with our society. So that really helps us to keep doing things like this.
It's such a great fundraiser, and it's easy, and a lot of us shop there. So all we've got to do is just remember to stick the receipt in there. So, and that's great that they offer that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that for First Things First.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I made a couple notes about what we did. I was going to say if anyone's ever interested in attending any of our workshops that we'll have, or if they just want to know about when our next clothing swap is or worm composting, you're always welcome just to shoot me an email with your email, or you can sign up on our website and just subscribe, and that way you'll get sent all the information. So
Yeah,
and
the website link is in the chat for anybody who wants to go to the Replenish Refillery website and sign up. Their newsletter is wonderful. Lots of information and great to see.
yeah, and we're going to do some kids classes in the summer. And so one of our staff members has offered to come and assist with that because she works with children as well. So that's going to be super fun. I'm going to do it on a Sunday, and we're just going to like take over the sidewalk, and it's going to be so much fun. Yeah.
Is Sunday when the farmers market is open on Main Street there?
Market. I forgot about the market.
I think the market is on.
It might have to be in the back. It might have to be at the park, Lori. Thank you for reminding me.
But
Yeah.
you know, if it's in the
Yeah.
front, you get a
Yeah.
lot of people wanting to participate with the kids.
It depends what it is. Yeah, we were going to do a really small worm workshop
That's
with parents also, not just kids. Parents need to come and supervise. But I thought that would be really fun because I actually have the worm. It's so funny. I've got the worms like right off the salon, and I've got another one under the table here. And we get little kids coming in, and I pull it out and I show them, and they're so interested and they're so gentle. But then that brings out the conversation on composting and why we compost and what the worms produce for us. And then what do we do with the castings? And how does that make a difference, right? With our plants? And why are we growing all these veggies, right? And it's just this huge conversation. And all it took was just putting one of those little worms in their hand, and they're just so excited. And it's
That's
fun.
a great beginning for them, right? It's really good.
Yeah.
Dorothy Atwater says that the market starts June 25th. And she says, why not include the events as part of the market, right? Yeah, to pair it up because there's so many people.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And last year we were open on Sundays, and people would usually hit the market and then they'd come in after. But we are available to have a space out front. So that's a really good idea, opening it up. Doesn't hurt. I love trying new things, right? So try it a couple times and see how it goes. So, and I've actually, I had one of the teachers from the high school even pop in, and I don't know if she heard about it. Maybe it was on CBC. Somehow word got out, and I'm doing a talk at the high school now. So that's gonna be, yeah. And definitely bringing the worms for that too. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Angela, for participating tonight and sharing all of the things that you're doing up in Summerland. I think it's really, really great that that you're here educating people, educating the public, reaching out to kids, reaching out to the school, because a little bit can go a long way.
You're welcome. Well, and I really appreciate the invitation today for this evening. I was pretty nervous. I got to say, I've got all my notes here on a little piece of paper, but you guys are great. And I love what you guys are doing. I know that I've participated in the climate strike that you guys set up. That was amazing. The that was amazing. We did that, and I follow you on social media, and it's so fabulous to see all you guys here, because we're all making this difference, right? So, and people that we touch in our lives and sharing information with others, it has to start with one person, right? It just takes one person to make a big difference. And everybody that came tonight, it just shows how passionate we all are, right?
Thank you.
So, and thank you again so much for having me. It was fabulous.
So I encourage everybody to go up to the Replenish Refillery and also see Locomotive, and also go down to Oliver and Chickpeas. Everybody has different things. And yeah, thanks so much, Angela. And I think
You're so welcome.
Sorry, someone has a comment?
Before you go, Lori, could I suggest to the board that Angela be the president of the Summerland chapter of First Things First?
Oh, I think she already is.
Thanwant you very much.
Thanks.
Oh,
Steve
you're
has
so
a-
welcome. And I just, a real quick note too. I want to say this is a real team effort here at the store. It's not just me. I have such an amazing team behind me, and really supportive family and friends and my partner. And I just, and my kids as well. And I just want to make sure that I let you all know it's not one person here doing it on my own. It just it's a team, and I think that's what it's going to take, right, to really turn this around and make a difference for our planet. Right.
Absolutely.
So,
I'd,
yeah.
I'd like
Thanks.
to add something there now that things sort of percolate slowly. Just one thing I'd like to say. My mom lives at Haven Hill and receives books from the library every 2 weeks. And this past week has included, one of the two big books is called Carl and the Meaning of Life. And Carl is an earthworm, and the illustrations and the story of the meaning of a worm in the cycle of life is absolutely beautifully told and illustrated in a very simple fashion. So I just want to recommend the book Carl and the Meaning of Life.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, it is. It's well worth looking for in your local libraries. And the other is just, I was really grateful. You're right. We're always looking for ways to improve what we can do in our own lives, in our own realms of influence. And something as simple as like toothbrushes and the tubes that you talk about, the beauty tubes, just drive me nuts. And I thought, yes, I can do bamboo. I can do bamboo toothbrushes.
Wow.
The idea of being able to compost stuff instead of, yeah. So I really
And
appreciate the
oh,
suggestion.
you're so welcome. I know as a hairstylist, Susan, we go through a lot of tubes of hair color, right? There's a lot of waste in the industry. And so I've really worked hard and chosen products that I thought were the most natural, with the least amount of waste, right down to the cap. So, and fortunately, Terracycle takes those back as well. So all of those tubes. So you can all, speak to your hairstylists as well, wherever you go. Just say, hey, I heard that there's a recycling program that different salons can use. There's a one called Green Circle. So you can mention that to them as well. So yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I echo everyone's sentiments. What you're doing is just wonderful, and shows what one person can do, makes such a difference.
Yeah, thanks, Sue.
I just wanted to mention what we have coming up next month. We're going to be having Jeremy Dresner from the RDOS. He'll be giving an update on what the regional district is working on. He's a sustainability head of sustainability there. And he also will be talking about their adaptation plan, and we hope he'll be talking a bit about the Procreate program that they have, doing they're doing a pilot with the company, and they're very busy. So it'll be an interesting presentation. So that will be June 22nd, I believe, is the date, and we'll have that in our next newsletter. So I think, unless anyone has anything else, that'll be a wrap for tonight.
Yes.
Great,
thank you
thanks
so much.
everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks